Billions of cedis flow through the congested alleys of Accra every single day. There are no loan officers, no credit scores, and absolutely no digital ledgers. Yet, massive shipments of goods change hands on a simple promise. This is the invisible machinery of Makola Market, where trust is the only currency that matters. To understand how this system survives, we have to look back at generations of West African communal trade. Long before modern banking arrived on the coast, local networks relied on collective pooling. This foundation birthed the traditional Susu system, a micro-savings mechanism rooted in absolute accountability. Traders contribute daily sums to a trusted collector, building a communal buffer for inventory expansion. But when a merchant needs to scale up instantly, formal institutions demand collateral they simply do not possess. Collateral requirements lock out the very people driving grassroots commerce. Enter the market queens, known locally as the Manye. They are not just traders. They are uncertified, highly effective risk assessors. Every new vendor who enters Makola must register her presence with the queen of her specific commodity sector. Whether it is tomatoes, textiles, or imported hardware, the Manye tracks every single participant. When a supplier hands over 20,000 cedis worth of inventory on credit, they aren't guessing. They rely entirely on the veteran trader's accumulated social capital. A good name means instant liquidity. A tainted reputation means instant economic exile. If a debtor defaults, the penalty does not arrive via a court summons or asset seizure. Instead, the market queen summons both parties to an immediate tribunal under the pavilion. Her judgment is swift, absolute, and backed by the collective weight of the entire merchant community. Defaulting here doesn't just ruin one deal. It permanently cuts you off from the lifeblood of supply. This ultra-localized enforcement mechanism keeps default rates remarkably lower than many commercial banks. Calculated entirely on mutual visibility, every trader knows her neighbor's daily turnover. You cannot hide a downturn when your stall sits 10 feet away from your creditor. Transparency is baked directly into the architecture of the marketplace. Generations of families pass down these trade routes, embedding financial pedigree into surnames. A daughter inheriting a stall inherits her mother's credit rating alongside it. This turns the entire market into a self-auditing organism. Economists often puzzle over how such an informal system scales without fracturing. The secret lies in the velocity of relational accountability. Money moves faster on a handshake here than it ever does through automated clearinghouses. Transactions that would take weeks of paperwork clearance happen in seconds. Yet, this complex web of honor faces unprecedented pressures from modern digital fintech apps. Younger generations are beginning to look outside the market queens for microloans. Algorithmic credit scoring threatens to replace centuries of customary social bonds. As digital credit creeps into the alleys, the foundational authority of the Manye is being tested. Can an algorithm replicate the nuanced social intuition of a matriarch who has known your family for decades? The tension between digital efficiency and communal heritage defines modern West African trade. Yet, a system built entirely on a handshake begs the terrifying question: what happens when the matriarchs who hold the social contract are no longer there to enforce it? The system relies on the silent, daily rhythm of the dawn import shipments. Before the sun fully rises, massive volumes of goods are distributed to retailers on pure credit. There is no paper contract signed, no interest rate locked, and no collateral pledged. Instead, the supplier relies on the trader's entire standing within the market. Public shame is a far more potent debt recovery tool than any courtroom gavel. To default is to lose your place in the lineage of your sector. It is a form of economic exile that ripples through your family and your peers. But how does the system manage the volatile reality of inflation? In the formal economy, prices are set by rigid algorithms. In Makola, pricing is dynamic, negotiated in real time, and absorbed across the network. When costs spike, the burden is shared between importer, wholesaler, and retailer. They don't collapse under the weight of a single bad quarter. They adapt, shifting margins and tightening credit terms within the community. This decentralized network acts as a shock absorber for the entire national economy. It is a system built on the assumption of mutual survival. Every trader knows that if the person next to her fails, the entire row suffers. This creates a natural incentive for collective oversight. They monitor each other's foot traffic, inventory levels, and customer interactions. It is a form of peer-to-peer auditing that predates the internet by centuries. The Manye sit at the center of this web, acting as the ultimate nodes. They are the ones who hold the social contract together. When a dispute arises, they don't look at spreadsheets. They look at the character of the individuals involved. They consider the trader's family history and her contributions to the market. This is a system that understands the human element of finance. But the market is not immune to the outside world. External economic pressures are forcing traders to seek new sources of liquidity. Digital apps are promising faster, easier access to credit. They don't ask for your family's reputation. They only ask for your data. This shift is creating a generational divide. The younger traders are more comfortable with the digital interface. The older generation remains skeptical of the intangible nature of digital credit. They fear the loss of the community oversight that protects them. They know that once credit becomes a digital transaction, the social bond is severed. It becomes just another number in a database. The market queens are fighting to maintain their influence. They are trying to integrate digital tools into the existing framework, but the pace of change is accelerating faster than they can adapt. As modern banking apps aggressively knock on the market gates with smartphone credit offers, the ancient code of trust faces its ultimate stress test. These apps promise financial inclusion, but for many here, that is just a euphemism for data extraction. By digitizing credit, these platforms create a permanent, traceable footprint that the market's informal ecosystem has spent centuries avoiding. For a trader whose business thrives on tax-free, privacy-guarded transactions, a smartphone loan is a Trojan horse. Yet, the vulnerability of the old way is becoming impossible to ignore. When hyperinflation hits, the communal buffer of the Susu can only stretch so far. External shocks, global supply chain collapses, or sudden currency devaluations expose the fragility of localized trust. The Manye are finding it harder to protect their own when the entire economy is shifting beneath them. It is a clash between two fundamentally different philosophies of risk. One is built on the cold, calculated efficiency of the algorithm. The other is built on the messy, resilient, and deeply human reality of the handshake. To view Makola as a primitive relic is to fundamentally misunderstand its genius. It is, in fact, a masterclass in decentralized, resilient human economics. Modern finance, with all its regulatory complexity, often misses the very thing Makola has perfected: proximity-based trust. The future of inclusive finance may not lie in better algorithms, but in better ways to scale this kind of human connection. We must ask ourselves, are we building systems that serve people, or systems that force people to serve the data? The story of Makola is far from over. It is a living, breathing experiment in what happens when trust becomes the primary infrastructure. And for as long as people trade, that experiment will continue to evolve. Whether the handshake survives the smartphone remains the defining question of our time. But one thing is certain: the market will find a way to endure.